Hi, this is JJ Gat. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I invite you to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you like what you hear today. So I realized after I did my last set of Pinterest marketing videos that I published on this channel that some folks in the comments section didn't understand what Pinterest is. Some people say they use Pinterest, but just for their personal purposes. So I decided maybe it's a good idea to roll things back a little bit and have a series where I explain how Pinterest works for personal usage, and then also the business case for using Pinterest for increasing your engagement, your sales, your clicks, your reach. I think the best way to show and highlight how the Pinterest is like a bulletin board, like a vision board, like a social media platform, and like a search engine is by showing you how it works. So let's take a look. Here we go. So you can imagine that if you have a home, if you've ever been in a community center, a college or school, or even maybe your kitchen, you may have a bulletin board where you pin different things and pin different visions and ideas and recipes and lots of different things that you want or to create something you may want to refer or reference to later on. So that's why you have this bulletin board. So imagine, for example, you have a recipe that someone gives you and you write it down on a little note card. So one of the things you may do, you collect these note cards, put them on a Pinterest board. And then another thing is, let's say there's some exercises. You're like, oh, I want that body. That's how I want to look. Body goals. And so inside that Shape magazine, you have different exercise routines or how to get, rock solid legs like Rita Ora here. And you tear that off the magazine and you pin it on your pin board in your kitchen or in wherever you have it, perhaps in your dorm room or inside your home someplace. So that's one example of it. Another thing, outfits. Women especially, you see, maybe you have Vogue magazine, maybe you have a Glamour magazine, and you see different outfits and looks that you might want to put together because you have an event coming up. So you might tear out of those magazine pages different looks and put them together and pin them on that board. Now, what Pinterest is a digital version of this. So, for example, let's look at my this is my board, for example. Let me turn this off. On my business board, in my Pinterest board for one of my blog posts, Belly Edge blog, I have various different boards. And one of the boards that I have is a food and drink board. So I mentioned the recipe card on my food and drink board, and we have different recipes. So there's recipe here for cheese zucchini keto breadsticks, for example. You see right there's a recipe on the pin itself, so I can make it. If I click through to that site, that'll take me to their website. Now, and then again, that's this digital version of the note cards where you have the little recipes on there. Then Pinterest is also like also has, let's go to the exercise board. Yeah, I mentioned the Shape magazine. So the digital version of the Shape, I have a board where I have health, running, and exercise tips. So in this board, I have, for example, yoga poses. So one of the things I may pin on there is 7 gentle yoga inversions to boost your metabolism. There I can go and on the pin itself, just look at that, and that's something that I have for reference when I want to do. I can print that out. The other version of the other thing I had was outfits, for example. I have style boards, but I have an outfits board. So here you see all my various different outfits and different things I've pinned. People pin and put together outfits from their various websites, and they'll put it together, and Pinterest will feed this to me. So here is an example of the digital version of me tearing out outfits from Vogue or from Glamour magazine and putting them on the pin board. This is the digital version of that. So Pinterest is also a vision board. As you know, people create vision boards of what they want in their life. I did a creative errand demand sort of vision board that I'll note here. And you have, different words and phrases. Maybe you want to buy a car, maybe you want to get a house, maybe you want to get education. You pin those different things on your actual vision, on your actual visual vision board, but you can also use Pinterest to manifest that. It's the aspirational part about Pinterest is what we want to look like. So here, for example, there's all these women, they look like me, they're in these exotic places. So aspirationally, I may want to travel to these different places and wear these nice, exotic, flowing outfits and colorful outfits and take these pictures in these exotic places. So I would pin them because that's where I want to go. Similar to a vision board, you put what you aspire to want to achieve or which you want to go. And so Pinterest, for example, is something where you can do just that. Pin all the different places you want to go and see and looks that you like to have. So that's an example of how Pinterest is aspirational. It's a social media platform, but unlike a social media platform where Pinterest usually has in this pen you have like people who try the recipe, and so they can show you a picture of it, and that's the only social aspect of it. When we're sharing, oh, I tried this recipe, here it is, and then you have comments as well, people referencing like, well, why don't you, I tried and I added this ingredient, I tried that ingredient, someone, okay, this was a fail. And so that's the social aspect. It is very, very limited, unlike like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. There is more interaction and engagement with the various different users of that platform. Pinterest is really limited to just people, showing how it looked and I tried this pen, or making comments on a specific pen, and that's really few and far between. Even for most of my pens, I don't really have much comments on there, so you don't really spend a lot of time if you have a popular Pinterest page moderating comments, unless you have a food board, because it's not really social in that way. So that's the still example how Pinterest is, and this is another example. 8 people try this pen. So there's a pen. I pinned this picture, the nails, and Pinterest says, okay, here's different people who tried that pen. So that's the social aspect. So Pinterest is also a search engine. Google is the #1 search engine, and then YouTube. When people want to go figure out how to do a hairstyle, they'll YouTube it. But however, if people also looking for things on Pinterest, they search. And you can see here is the back door to my Belly Itch blog site, and the top referral, the top 10, #1 is Pinterest. It's like from the past hour or so, and you see that it's Pinterest and it's Facebook, and then there's all these other Pinterest UK, Pinterest Canada, Pinterest Australia, this is Pinterest South Africa. So that it's a source for driving traffic to your website. And so because Pinterest is a search engine and people looking for stuff and how to do things and things they want to aspire to, or maybe they have a DIY project they have coming up on their outfit for a wedding that they're going to go to, they'll pin it there, and that's going to drive traffic to the sites of whoever owns those sites. So I talked about, so that's what it is, the way Pinterest works. So let's start and try to create a Pinterest account. So you can, if you haven't had one, you know how it works. This is mine, so I'm gonna go log out of this account, and I'm gonna open up a brand new one. So I'm gonna open up a new browser, because I think mine is already in this browser. Let me go to another browser here. So instead of using Chrome, I'll go to another browser, and I'll type up an email address that you haven't used before. Let's type that up and see what shows up. jjgat@gmail. I don't think I've used that before. Okay, you have to actually add an email. So an active email account that you use. I'm gonna see if JJ Braids works here, and put my agent and see. Now that's not gonna work. So let's do something else. Let's go to jjgat@gmail and continue and make up a password. And after I do that, put my age in. I'm not this age, but I'm gonna put it in anyway. Why not? Turn back the hands of time. And voila, you have your page. So it's welcome JJ Gat to Pinterest. So there you go. And you can identify your gender, where you are. It's going to actually pick 2 categories to explore. So Pinterest is going to feed you pins to pin, or your digital bulletin board for your ideas. And so then you can go deeper, have subcategories, and they're usually going to populate with the most popular ones for people use it for. And based on your first higher level, when they do the deep dive, it'll show under this higher level, these are type of the categories that people usually have. So let's do cute outfits, regular outfits, done. Okay, we're all set. So now Pinterest is gonna build and generate a feed for me, and they're gonna give me some ideas, and so I can start creating my own bulletin board, like the one you saw on Belly Itch blog. So here you go. So for example, here, let's click this hair post here, and I have no boards because it's a brand new account. And so let's say I create a board and I'll say hair inspo. So these are my ideas where I'm going to pin all the different like hairstyles. Like I mentioned that it's not just aspirational hair that I like to get, but also hairstyles I like to try later on. And so that board is there. So as I go through the ideas Pinterest gave me, here's some nails. I don't have a DIY board, so I can go ahead and create one right now. And so I'm going to have a nail design board where I'm going to put all my different nail ideas because I like doing my nails. I like playing with color. I usually don't do many designs. I'm that adventurous person. But I'll put, and look, you can also make it secret. So if you don't, your pins, because your Pinterest profile is usually public, you can have secret boards. And usually when people do secret boards, they, you know, have like the vision board, or just they're planning an event. They don't want everyone to know about their surprise party. So you'll put that down there. Then you have your hair inspo. Let's see, so I can pin that hairstyle to my hair inspo. Where did it show? It didn't show up. So I can create one, create a site page, and let's say I'm gonna do spring styles on this one. Oh look, you can do your date. You can do it by date. That's an option. That's a new interest. You can make it secret. You can add collaborators, and that there's a benefit for that. And I talk about it in another post, but I'll talk about it later on when I talk about Pinterest for business. So then you can just click these spring ideas, spring styles ideas that pop up and self-populate, and then it's gonna go and put them all on my spring styles. So under my stuff to buy, I have spring styles as a subcategory. And for the most part, that's done. And what's next? So there you go. My board is populating. I think here you can you can download a pin code. I'm not quite sure what that is. That's kind of new. But you can put your profile picture. I already have some boards. And so if I go through Pinterest and it populates, I can add those different ideas, nails, hair. See right now the top pins, because I already have a nail board in spring styles and nails. It's already given me different nails, different hairstyles based on the hairstyle I already picked before. If I pick like afros, it's gonna populate little afros, you know, and then spring outfits. So it says this is the sort of stuff you like already. So let's go to one of my blogs, my hair, JJ Braids. So if you open up JJ Braids, you'll see, okay, go back to JJ Braids. You open up JJ Braids, you scroll down here, basic at home foreseeing maintenance style. You click that, and a lot of times people will have marklets, or they will have indication, or you hover a photo. Look, you hover this photo, you have a pin button. You can also have pin marklets on the side, underneath, and you pin it, and that's gonna, the picture, whatever image that's on the post, that page is gonna pop up, and I can pin that to my hair inspo board automatically. So that's how you pin things, not other than going to the Pinterest feed. You can also go to websites. Here's my other parenting, my parenting blog, Belly Itch. If I go here, 5 fashionable stylish bags. So I can scroll through this page, and whenever I see an image, I'll hover over the image of the photo, and it's going to give me the option, or I can use a marklet, and it's going to show me all the images that are on that page. And I like that. I'll save that. I'll put that into stuff to buy. And remember, I created that subcategory. There's spring styles. It's really a handbag. I can create a brand new section for bags. So as I'm traveling through the internet, if I see nice bags I want to get for say school starting, and I want some bags, or I have a new season, or at the job, or whatever, or I'm looking for backpacks, as I'm going through the internet and I see backpacks, I can pin them on my backpack board. So as you're going through, because people are always on the internet for work, on their face, they're scrolling, and so as you scroll stuff, you see something, you can pin something, so long as there's a pin button on that page. And then, so that is how you get, this is how people use Pinterest for business, and that's going to be the next section we're going to talk about. So this essentially is how people who are just using Pinterest to curate ideas, curate aspirational things they want to have accomplished someday, and the things they want to actually achieve, recipes, DIY projects they want to do in short order. So I hope that's helpful for you. This walkthrough is a basic setup for, and I'll walk through too, how to create a Pinterest account and how people use Pinterest personally. So in the next section, we're going to talk about Pinterest for business. Hope that's helpful for you. This is JJ Gat. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification button, and see you next time. Bye-bye.